Good morning, everyone. Myself, P. Kanishwari, Department of Food Science and Nutrition. We are going to see the topic on renal failure. In this video, we are going to discuss about introduction, pathophysiology of renal failure, acute and chronic renal failure, and their causes, symptoms, diagnosis, and dietary management for renal failure condition. Renal failure is defined as a significant loss of renal function in both kidneys to the point where less than 10 to 20% of the normal glomerular filtration rate remains. Renal failure may occur as an acute and rapidly progressing process or may present as a chronic form in which there is a progressive loss of renal function over a number of years. Acute renal failure has an abrupt or onset and a potentially reversible condition. Chronic renal failure progresses slowly over at least 3 months and can lead to permanent renal failure. It's not reversible, it's irreversible condition. Pathophysiology of renal failure. The renal failure that is either it's glomerular or tubular dysfunction. The glomerular damage it caused primarily caused glomerulonephritis. In the case the tubular dysfunction it's called aminoglycoside. It's nephrotoxicity. This is the normal kidney, and then kidney have its the next picture is acute renal failure. That final one is end stage of kidney disease. Glomerular dysfunction. The main function of glomeruli is filtration. It's once the dysfunction is, it leads to fall a glomerular filtrate rate with retention of those substances usually cleared by filtration, including water. Then tubular dysfunction. The tubular dysfunction, the main function is reabsorption. Once it's failure, it's resulting in the voiding of large volume of dilute urine that is called polyuria of low specific gravity along with electrolytes and nutrients. Now we will discuss about acute renal failure. It is sudden decrease in renal function. Acute renal failure may be pre-renal, intrarenal or post-renal in nature. Acute renal failure is often reversible so long as permanent injury to the kidney has not occurred. The manifestation is oliguria, possible edema or fluid retention, elevated blood urea nitrogen level and serum creatinine level, alteration in serum electrolytes. These are the causes for acute renal failure: myocardial infarction, rhabdomyolysis, decreased blood flow, obstruction, hemolytic uremic syndrome, glomerulonephritis are common causes for acute renal failure. Acute renal failure is classified as pre-renal failure, intrarenal failure, and post-renal failure. The pre-renal failure is result from impaired or reduced blood flow to the kidney. So it possibly caused shock, hypertension, anaphylaxis, ischemic formation. Post-renal failure, it's a damage of renal. It results from conditioned block of urine outflow. It possibly causes obstruction of urine outflow by calculi, tumor, and then prostatic hypertrophy. The next one is intrarenal failure. Result from acute damage to renal structure. It possibly causes acute glomerulonephritis, phenylonephritis, may also result from acute tubular necrosis. Damage of kidney structure from exposure to toxins, solvents, drugs, and heavy metals. Acute tubular necrosis is the most common cause of acute renal failure. These are the symptoms of acute renal failure. First, the decreased kidney function, that is the main symptoms, and then obstruction in the urinary tract, blood in urine, reduced urine output, dehydration, detectable abnormal mass, pale skin, poor appetite. Now we will see what are the diagnostic method we are using for kidney failure. Routine laboratory test. In the test, creatinine and blood urea nitrogen level to be monitored. Ultrasound of the kidney helps to determine whether the kidney problem is acute or chronic. kidney biopsy, computed tomography scan. These are the routine diagnosis method is used to identify renal failure. Next, now we are going to see about chronic renal failure. Chronic renal failure is the end result of progressive kidney damage and loss of function. Chronic renal failure is often classified into 4 progressive stages based on the loss of glomerular filtration rate. The diminished renal reverse. Glomerular filtration rate decreased to 35 to 50% of normal renal. The second stage is insufficiency. So in this condition, glomerular filtration rate decreased to 20 to 35% of normal. Renal failure. Glomerular filtration rate reduced to less than 20% of normal. End stage of renal disease. Glomerular filtration rate is less than 5% of normal. These are the causes for chronic renal failure. Chronic glomerulonephritis, chronic infection, renal obstruction. It's prolonged renal obstruction. It's caused chronic renal failure. Exposure to toxic chemicals, toxins or drugs, diabetic condition, hypertension. In the diabetic condition, it's untreated diabetic condition, and then hypertension, nephrosclerosis, diabetic nephropathy, Alport syndrome. Inherited disorder causes deafness, progressive kidney damage, and eye defect. That is called Alport syndrome. And then polycystic kidney disease, interstitial nephritis or pyelonephritis. These are the symptoms of chronic renal failure. Until very kidney functions remains, chronic renal failure may not be developed. Anemia, increased level of phosphates in blood, or complication of kidney failure, malaria, dry skin, poor appetite, vomiting, bone pain, metallic taste in mouth, detectable abdominal mass. These are the treatment for chronic renal failure. Careful management of fluids and electrolytes, it's very important. Prudent use of diuretics, careful dietary management. There is a restriction of dietary protein intake, and then sodium, potassium also, and then recombinant erythropoietin to treat anemia, renal dialysis, renal transplant. Now we are going to see about dietary management for renal failure patient. Renal diet is one of the low in sodium, phosphorus and protein. A renal diet also emphasizes the importance of consuming high quality protein and usually limiting fluids. Some patients may also need to limit potassium and calcium. The first, sodium. Why we have to restrict sodium? It will increase thirst, edema, high blood pressure, heart failure, because the sodium have the capacity of holding water, so it will accumulate water around the heart, so it leads heart failure. And then shortness of breath, as like heart, it also hold water around lungs, so it will cause shortness of breath. The next, potassium. And the excessive amount of potassium leads to muscle weakness, irregular heartbeat, so slow pulses, heart attack. It leads to death. Next one is phosphorus. We have to restrict the phosphorus because high amount of phosphorus leads to calcium out from the bone. It leads to weak the calcium deposition in blood vessels, lungs, eyes and heart. Next one is protein. High amount of protein intake, damaged kidney fail to remove protein waste and it accumulates in blood. Then fluids. It decreased urine output and unnecessary pressure on the person heart and lungs. Thank you.